Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
We ourselves having an autistic child hits very close to home.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues tonight in Sumner County, and it is not getting any easier for the community.
Well, multiple law enforcement agencies involved in this ground search today, and civilians are joining the search too, all in an effort to try to bring this teenager home. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live from TBI's headquarters in East Nashville with more. Caitlin?
Yes, Megan and Scott, TBI says that they don't want to leave one stone unturned, so they've been out there every day and night investigating, and so have volunteers. We have spoken with a group today who's been handing out these flyers to keep Sebastian's name and image out in the public eye. Rod Schwint lives in Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood and has an autistic daughter.
It could be my daughter that walked away and disappeared without a trace.
Schwint says it's been a very difficult 5 weeks for the community. And Schwint says it's been very invasive for the neighborhood. He explains there's been both law enforcement, but also random vehicles coming through their street.
People have been coming in almost daily, and they've had to report them to the sheriff's department. They've come in TikTokers that are nationally known, trying to get pictures of the family and so on, that they've been flying drones over houses.
Perry Buckner is an independent volunteer. She says her group has been handing out flyers and doing their own ground search.
If we get permission from families to go and search your properties or anything like that, we'll go out and we'll look.
Buckner says she's been respectful of people's private properties, but adds since they're working separately from law enforcement, they stay out of their way.
When they said today that they were going to be searching in an area, we took that into consideration and we avoided that area completely.
Buckner says their goal is to keep Sebastian's name and face public so they can all work together to bring Sebastian home to his family. TBI says that you can email or call them with any tips. They say that they're taking every tip very seriously and will follow up if needed. Reporting live from East Nashville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Caitlin, thank you. And new tonight, police asking for your help finding this missing teenager out of Murfreesboro. This is 17-year-old Tyree Elijah Graves. His mother says he ran away from home on Monday. He was last seen in the Lancassis Pike area. Here it is on the map right about here. This would be the street, very close to MTSU. And he was wearing an orange shirt with writing, blue gym shorts, and house slippers. He stands about 5'5", weighing 150 pounds. If you've seen him, you're asked to call police.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a proposal by the Metro School Board to place more limits on public comments, your comments. Right now, if you want to speak to the school board at a meeting, you have to register online and they give you 3 minutes. And it could soon be a lot more restrictive.
We are calling this meeting to order and we have a quorum. I appreciate everyone's attendance, including everyone in the audience.
The Metro School Board started requiring people who want to address the board to register in 2022. The same time it started limiting public comments to 3 minutes. Now the board is proposing limiting your comments to only items on the agenda and capping all comments to no more than 30 minutes.
When you cut off the public from the life of school policy making, you risk eroding trust and confidence, further adding to a public narrative that paints public education in a negative light.
Former Metro teacher Tom Surface is among those encouraging the board to reject more limits. He's part of a group called NOAA, a local coalition dedicated to amplifying the power and voices of average people. NOAA says the registration and 3-minute rule reduced public participation by 70% last year.
As elected officials, you are part of the democratic process. That means you are supposed to listen to your constituents and the population you have been elected to serve. Limiting public participation to only 30 minutes is a gross injustice.
NOAA members argue with more than 86,000 students and 5,000 plus teachers, the school board should dedicate more time to public comment, not less.
And simply speaking with board members privately or by email is not enough. We need to register our support or disagreement with district policies and practices in public. because that is how democracy works.
After the pushback, some of which you just heard, the school board has decided to talk it over some more. It's scheduled to vote on these proposed new restrictions at its next board meeting, which is coming up on Tuesday. Well, this is a talker, and we want to know what you think. Should MNPS, in your mind, limit public comment only to items that are on the school board's agenda? You see 137 votes have come in. 71% say no, they shouldn't do that, and 28.5% say yes. If you'd like to vote, this poll is still live. You can scan the QR code there on the right-hand side of your screen. It will link you to our X page at Fox Nashville, and we will update these results later in the newscast.
Some people feel that this is a good way to deter people from camping out on our streets. What's your response to that?
Tonight in the high cost of homelessness, a local nonprofit wants the Supreme Court to decide if police in Tennessee can arrest people for sleeping on public land. Open Table says that the law goes too far, but supporters argue it's about safety in our communities. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker taking a look at the issue tonight.
In 2022, Tennessee made it a felony to camp on public or state property. Now, supporters felt that this was really paving the way to finally clean up all of the homeless encampments citywide. However, opponents felt that this was taking it too far. With homeless encampments popping up month after month, the central question is, how do we solve the issues? With neighborhood advocates like Brittany McCann saying something needs to change.
We tried this in Hermitage for years to let people live on land, public land, for free. And it brought nothing but death, destruction to our community, our local businesses, theft, trash, environmental hazards.
McCann says in her neighborhood, communities were damaged. This when people lived on the streets with no consequences and no rules. Should people be criminalized for not having a home?
No, people shouldn't be criminalized for not having a home. But also a piece of fabric is not a home.
Now, a couple years after Tennessee made it illegal to camp on public property, this issue is being fought on the federal level. On April 22nd, our country's highest court will hear verbal arguments.
And arresting someone, or finding someone or citing someone might get them off your street corner or out of your backyard for, a day or a few days, but then they're going to be right back outside in the same position they were in, but will actually be worse off.
India Pungarcher with Open Table says having a felony on your record makes it much harder to get into housing. We've seen in the past drug and crime issues related to homelessness. So what about the safety of everyone here? Should people just keep living on the street?
Finding someone, citing someone, arresting someone, that is going to do absolutely nothing to make sure that they're in a position where they're not, committing, quote, crimes, or that is not putting them in a position to be able to, appropriately address their substance use.
Open Table believes in a housing first model. Also important to note, we will be watching that Supreme Court case and we'll let you guys know any details that comes of that. For now, in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, so far, Tennessee has not charged anyone with the law. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear arguments on April 22nd. Representatives from OTN will be there in D.C. on the day of oral arguments to rally for homeless rights and advocate for housing, not handcuffs. The High Court is expected to issue a ruling by the end of June.
Okay, turning to the weather. Yesterday, the storm moved through, and today, noticeably cooler.
A lot cooler, and we're in for a couple days of the cool weather here as we move into tonight and more so into Thursday night and Friday night. We're going to have to introduce some frost. Not only that, I have to say the other word, the snow word, as we head through the overnight tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a few flurries out there. Temperatures at the moment sitting at about 50 degrees, very different from where we were yesterday evening about this time. 48 in Clarksville. We're already in the low 40s out toward the plateau. And that's going to be where we have at least a small chance for some light snow showers and/or some light rain showers mixing in with that snow here. As you can see, radar pictures really not too active. I think through the overnight we'll look at an isolated shower chance. We've got more though that are coming in as we zoom north. This is the culprit, bringing us not only the cooler air but this chance for light rain, snow. As we head through the overnight, we'll see these little pockets dive through Middle Tennessee, offering us a taste of winter weather, something we thought we were hopefully at least done with. Not the case. you know, sometimes we do see those flurries through the beginning of April. Temperatures for tonight, back in the upper 30s we go. 38 in Nashville, we're at 39 in Clarksville. Should be in the mid 30s out towards the plateau. Everyone above freezing, so even if we were to see any of those flurries flying, it won't create any issues for us. We'll talk how long we're in the cooler, that coming up, and later on, more on the eclipse forecast, how the cloud cover's looking for Monday.
Thanks, Katie. Also ahead, getting fit for summer, why experts say the long play is your best bet.
And another price hike. How much more Spotify overseas users will be asked to pay when it will happen here in the U.S. as well?
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
We believe in the 2-minute drill and goal line stands. We believe in beer snakes, the giddy up, and whatever this guy's doing. We believe in speed and power, and that nothing is more dangerous than a man with a dream. We believe in...
You may be eyeing that swimsuit and checking out that number on the scale, but you may need to change your mindset.
What we want to focus on is lifelong health and not just focus solely on a summer body.
Dr. Steve Poon with Mayo Clinic says to meet long-term goals, first, be realistic.
A lot of times people try to make these drastic changes, but oftentimes they don't take hold because it's very difficult.
Poon says to take small steps. Consistent exercise can help. Incorporate cardio to get the heart rate up and strength training to build muscle. But make sure you're doing something you enjoy.
Exercise comes in very different forms for each individual, right? And what works for one person doesn't always work for the others.
Next, eat balanced meals. Poon says don't try to cut out entire food groups. Instead, eat in moderation with plenty of protein, fruits, and veggies and fiber.
Certain diets tend to avoid carbohydrates, but that's part of your long-term energy store. So if you're doing some longer distance exercises, you're going on a weekend hike on a challenging mountain trail, having some carbohydrates the night before will actually help keep and sustain your energy.
Finally, limit beverages that add empty calories. That includes alcohol and soda.
You'll hear me say moderation, moderation, moderation over and over again. And that holds true with regardless of what we're thinking about.
I'm Amanda Chin reporting for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the doctor says getting support from an exercise class or fitness club can help you keep your health goals and provide a sense of community and accountability.
In consumer news tonight, if you listen to music on Spotify, prepare to dig a little deeper to pay for it. Here's what we know. Bloomberg News is reporting the company is raising prices. Word is the music streaming giant will raise prices between $1 and $2 in certain markets by the end of this month. Those particular markets include the United Kingdom, Australia, and Pakistan. We're told it'll happen in the U.S. later this year. Right now, Spotify's premium rate is $10.99 a month. Bloomberg reports that customers will be able to opt for a basic plan that does not include audiobooks and keep that same $10.99 price.
All right, with that big system that swept through our area, it has certainly left a chill behind.
Yep, cooler weather today, and we're really going to feel it tomorrow. Temperatures will struggle, I think, to reach 50. Are you ready?
Don't say the S word. Don't say it.
Right, yeah.
Resist.
It is. There's a little bit of a chance, just a tiny chance, and I don't, it's not going to be for everyone. I think this will be out in the higher elevations of the plateau, but we did all see some crazy weather today. Grapple, even some hail, and some rain showers mixed in there as well. It was just one of those days where Mother Nature couldn't decide what it wanted to do. So we go through tonight. A couple showers will be around, mixing in with a few flurries. A chilly Thursday on tap for us with temperatures only in the low 50s. And then a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about the eclipse forecast going into next week. So what's going on? Our drastic swing with this weather. It's all thanks to this upper level system here that is churning away in the Great Lakes region. This upper level low bringing us the cooler weather. And it's the reason why we were seeing little chunks of ice falling out of the sky today, whether it was hail or what we call grapple. And we'll discuss grapple here in a little while as well. But what that did was brought these colder temperatures aloft above us and created these little ice pellets that fell. Temperatures can be above freezing at the surface, but if it's cold above us, or what I like to say upstairs, we can get some of that frozen precipitation to fall and reach us here on the ground, and that's exactly what happened. Now we're going to keep temperatures on the cool side as we go through the next couple of days. The result will actually be some morning frost as we head through early Friday morning and Saturday morning, most likely. It's possible we could see maybe a patch or two of frost tomorrow morning, mainly in low-lying areas, but I think we've got better chances for frost for Friday and Saturday morning, and still pretty chilly for Sunday morning too. 44 our temperature at 10 o'clock. Notice skies remain mostly cloudy as this upper low is really just going to take its time to leave us. So the result will be another day similar to what we had this afternoon, with that mostly cloudy sky. Our shower chances aren't going to be as numerous as what we had today. We walk you through the overnight, and you can see Future Track brings in a little bit of that, and notice it's hinting at maybe a little bit of that light snow mixed in with some rain out toward the plateau in East Tennessee. Here's 10 a.m. A little bit later in the afternoon, some light showers continue for us. This is 2, and that trend continues all the way through the evening into early Friday morning, where we see skies remain at least partly cloudy for the first half of the day. Right now, the weekend not looking too bad, but how does next week look? In particular, Monday. Very important day. We'll have your eclipse forecast coming up a little later.
The national debt is out of control and the consequences could be dire. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll have the latest economic forecasts coming up.
Hey there, I'm Jennifer Waddell from the Fox 17 News Morning Show. The upcoming solar eclipse just a few days away, and science and health experts are stressing the importance of proper eye protection. The best strategies to protect.
Sale is going on now. Get up to 75% off brand name closeout mattresses, or get a queen mattress for just $30 a month. Plus, get a free box spring with any mattress purchase for better sleep and savings. Shop Ashley today.
In the economy tonight, a growing number of experts are now warning of a severe national debt crisis.
Well, Fox 17 News' Matt Galka reports on the new projections painting a bleak economic outlook. And you can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story.
The warning signs are dire. The U.S. needs to get spending and debt under control or pay the price.
Our debt is the size of the entire economy today. It's approaching a new record.
The national debt sits at just over $34.5 trillion. That's an increase of about $3 trillion in the past year and almost $10 trillion in the past 4 years. The Congressional Budget Office forecasting it could balloon to $54 trillion over the next decade. Top economists, including Wharton School of Business Vice Dean Dr. Joao Gomez, recently warned lawmakers the unsustainable debt could be catastrophic for the country.
Its consequences will be severe and leave lasting and probably irreversible scars on our economy and society.
Gomez's warnings included the potential for a recession, a spike in interest rates as the value of the dollar plummets, and further inflation pain affecting all corners of the country. Bloomberg Economics released the results of 1 million simulations on the debt outlook. 88% of them showed the U.S. on an unsustainable path. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell brought up the issue earlier this year.
The U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
The debt-to-GDP ratio could swell to levels not seen since World War II and beyond in the next 5 years. Inaction could trigger a financial crisis.
Let me put it this way. This year, we are projected to spend more on interest on the debt than everything we spend on defense or on Medicare. Think about that.
The same economists predicting a catastrophe also say it's not too late to avoid one. One plan has a $400 billion cut spread out over a few years, staving off a potential financial crisis. But that's asking an awful lot from a bitterly divided Congress that's routinely scrambling to fund the government. In Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
During that story, we had a QR code linking you to a poll on our X page asking, do you believe the national debt could create an economic catastrophe for the U.S.? 88.2% say yes. 357 people weighing in. Fewer than 12% said no. Our thanks to all who took time to vote.
Up next, Tennessee is one of the most expensive states to live in. How much you need to earn to be comfortable here in the volunteer state.
The numbers are best, Mac.
Call Mac Pest Control today. Mac Pest Control.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In the economy tonight, a new study by Bankrate claims Americans need to earn 6 figures in order to afford a home in almost half of U.S. states. Tennessee on the cusp here, with the state threshold affordability salary being at least $90,000. Tonight, experts weighing in on how we got here.
The American dream is downsizing with inflation and high interest rates. In Tennessee, the median sales price for a home tips almost $500,000, with February 2024 data coming in at $478,000. However, economists say Middle America is having a hard time keeping up because it hasn't seen a pay raise to adequately support these sky-high prices. Things like groceries, gas, and everyday bills are putting comfortable living out of reach.
The thing that's gone up the most in price has actually been mortgage payments, because mortgage payments now are, it used to be the average mortgage payment a few years ago was about $1,800 a month. Now it's over $3,000 a month. So this is like a tax on the middle class, and it's a tax on the American dream.
According to this Massachusetts Institute of Technology living wage calculator, in Nashville, an average household income of 2 working adults and 2 children would need to be around $105,986. And while salaries are stagnant, it's pricing middle-income families out of the market. Local realtor Erica Curry explains it this way.
So we have an inventory crunch, which is propping up these home prices, and we have buyers that can't afford to buy them. However, more buyers can afford to buy them than what we have sellers on the market. And that's where we are with this problem.
She says the only solution in sight is waiting for the Fed to lower interest rates. And if you're in a pinch and find your dream home, create a plan to buy now and refinance later to take advantage of lower interest rates and not wait on the market.
Economist Steve Moore says right now 4% current interest rates are not ideal, and the market is striving for about 2%.
Continuing coverage now on the border crisis as the Biden administration turns to an app called Custom Border Protection 1 to help manage the large number of migrants coming in. Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell shows us what it does.
While the vast majority of those fleeing desperate situations in their home countries are coming to the U.S. border, the Biden administration has taken other measures to streamline the asylum process, asking people to use the CBP One app, part of the humanitarian parole program for those coming from countries like Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, in which they're brought by plane into the United States. A recent report crunched the numbers to see just how many were coming and where they were going, finding more than 8,000 sent to Los Angeles, nearly 22,000 sent to Houston, but the vast majority, 326,000, were dropped off in Miami, Florida, between October 2022 and this past February.
Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela all have governments that are openly hostile to the interests of the United States, and Haiti doesn't actually have a government at all right now. So our ability to vet those people is extremely limited.
Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis and Attorney General Ashley Moody are fighting the program in court, with members of Congress also trying to take action.
This is an absolute violation of our sovereignty, and it's unconstitutional.
But a federal judge appointed by Donald Trump disagrees. In a ruling last month, Judge Drew Tipton found that 21 states, including Florida and Texas, that filed a lawsuit against the program failed to establish they had standing to do so, thus allowing the parole program to continue.
Florida, of course, isn't alone. Cities like New York and Denver have all had to drastically cut their budgets that helped local residents to deal with the tens of thousands of migrants who need housing and food and other assistance. As the federal government works diligently to quell a crisis now named as the top issue for voters in the 2024 presidential election. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Well, new tonight, a Tennessee teacher making a difference in the lives of children for over 30 years. She takes home the top national honor for her work. It was all cheers today in the gymnasium at Rogersville City School in Northeast Tennessee this morning, as students and faculty learned that Missy Testerman was awarded the National Teacher of the Year. But if you ask her students, it's really no surprise why their teacher was chosen.
Miss Testerman she taught me how to write a paragraph.
and that's really important in life. And she let us have the funnest topics and just encouraged us to write more.
Ms. Tesserman has taught me to just be kind for no reason at all. Just do for others what you would do for yourself.
Like, she helped me a lot in reading and math and all that. Probably reading, like spelling new words and stuff, because I would always have trouble doing that in 2nd grade. She's really kind to others, and every time I see her in the hallway, she always makes me smile all the time, and I really like that.
What a positive impact there. Well, Missy Testerman currently works with children from kindergarten through 8th grade, learning English as a 2nd language in the rural Appalachian community the school serves. Congratulations.
Yesterday, a very active day. We had tornadoes across East Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, all around us. Thankfully, we missed most of the activity, but one of these storms here, one we don't see very often, a tornado, confirmed tornado out in East Tennessee. For perspective, here's Fentress County. This is just on the edge of our viewing area, just one county over here. This has actually been surveyed as an EF1 tornado, and with winds up to about 105 miles per hour. So damaging, unfortunately, tornado here. There's I-75 that it passed over as well. We take a look at some of the other storm reports that we saw, a lot of them across the region here. And again, there are the 2 tornadoes reports from the Morgan County Sunbright tornado out in East Tennessee. A lot of wind reports you can see there, and up in Ohio too, they had reports of flooding as well. So again, a very active day for us yesterday, and had a few reports for us too, but fortunately we missed most of the activity. Great way to stay up to date with what's going on these active days is to have that source for information. Our Fox 17 weather app does just that. Scan the QR code here. It's a free tool that you have at your fingertips at all time. It will warn you when there is severe weather headed your way. Not only that, it's a great tool to have when you're just out and about. Maybe you're headed to soccer practice on Saturday with the kids, or going out for a run, and you need to know when the rain's moving in. We've got a nice interactive radar for you for you on the app. In addition to that, I was just thinking, hurricane season around the corner. It's really great for hurricane tracking. We'll talk more about that as we get a little bit closer to summer. More on your eclipse forecast, that in your next Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. Tonight marks the 50th anniversary of a tornado outbreak that cut across more than a dozen states, including ours.
Need we say more? Sonic Garlic Butter Bacon Cheeseburger.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Severe weather coverage now. 50 years ago tonight, supercell tornadoes raced across Tennessee and more than a dozen other states, injuring thousands.
Well, Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna taking a look back at this historic outbreak.
April 3rd and 4th, 1974, one of the worst outbreaks of severe weather was unfolding across the U.S. This year marks the 50th anniversary of that terrible event. In total, 148 tornadoes touched down across 13 states, the 2nd largest tornado outbreak in the U.S. When it was finally over with, 330 people were dead, almost 5,500 were injured. Here's a tornado track map from that outbreak. You had tornadoes all the way from Illinois, all the way up to New York, down to Mississippi and Alabama, and really everywhere in between as well. Here in Middle Tennessee, it was mainly our central and eastern counties that got hit. We had one F5 tornado that was down there in Lincoln County in that shade of pink. We also had some F4s in other counties. Those are more in our eastern counties, areas like Franklin and Putnam County, all those counties that are highlighted in red. And here's also a couple of pictures from the National Weather Service of these tornadoes. These were tornadoes that had formed near Percy Priest Lake. You see in this photo over here, 2 twisters right there, 2 tornadoes, and then right over here you see that long funnel extending all the way down to the ground with a little bit of a debris cloud around the base of that tornado. So breaking it down by category across Middle Tennessee, we had 10 F1 tornadoes, 2 F2s, 7 F3s, 4 F4 tornadoes, and then that 1 F5 tornado that moved up from North Alabama into Lincoln County. This is the largest tornado outbreak for all of us right here in Middle Tennessee. In total here in Middle Tennessee, there were 24 24 tornadoes, which left 38 dead and 500 injured. The longest track tornado, that was that F5 that started in Alabama and moved into Lincoln County here in Tennessee. It was on the ground for 50 miles, killing 16 in Alabama and 6 right here in Tennessee, along with injuring 250. Reporting in studio, Brett Luna, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Coming up, more on your eclipse forecast, how the cloud cover is looking for April 8th.
Up next, Governor Bill Lee commenting on his controversial voucher program.
For a quote today, you're in good hands with Allstate.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Franklin police need your help to identify a woman accused of stealing items from one of the local Target stores there. Take a look. Police say this woman was at the Galleria Boulevard Target about a week and a half ago. While there, they say she made off with a coffee maker and a remote-controlled helicopter, the combined value of which is about $700. Officers say the woman placed the items in her shopping cart and just left the store without paying. If you recognize the woman or know where she is, call Franklin Police.
Tonight, Governor Lee giving an update on his controversial priority legislation to expand the state's school voucher program as it's reviewed by both chambers.
Tennesseans want that. We've seen that in polling and data across the state. There's a broad public acceptance for the ability for parents to have more choice in where their kids go to school. Parents are the best decider for where their kids go and what they learn.
Well, so far, Wilson, Williamson, and Montgomery County schools have signed resolutions opposing the governor's bill for universal school choice.
Covering the Capitol, State Representative Harold Love Jr. trying to clear the air after the legislature vacates the entire board at Tennessee State University. Lawmakers cleaned house after multiple audits pointed to management issues at the school, including scholarships for students the university simply didn't have room for. Separate audits detailed historic underfunding of TSU on two fronts: $544 million in federal grants to support ag research and extension work, and another $2 billion in basic Tennessee state appropriations. Representative Love says everything is on the record and above board, and he is excited about TSU's future.
I am of the belief that if given the chance, the university can be the very best public institution in this state if given the proper funding and proper chance to thrive. And I believe my colleagues here also want to do the very same thing.
Now, toward that end, Love says Governor Lee appointed the brand new Board of Trustees from a list given to him by the national chapter of the TSU Alumni Association. Earlier today, Governor Lee spoke with Fox 17 News about the need for change at TSU.
The students deserve it. The students at TSU need to have a university that can fulfill commitments to scholarships and to housing and to and we're committed to that.
Governor Lee thinks the new Board of Trustees will be instrumental in keeping TSU fiscally accountable.
Wow, kind of a wild week weather-wise. We skirted by yesterday, and now we're having to bust out the winter coats
the
again.
jackets again.
Like, I was already ready to put those up.
Right.
False start.
Couple more weeks, I think, and we'll be more, safe in the clear. Yeah,
let's turn the page.
It is about time, and this is actually a little late for us, I think, for some of the cold air. But again, we can get chilly this time of April. We want to look ahead to next week here and talk more about the solar eclipse that will be happening on April 8th. Again, it will not be a total solar eclipse here in Nashville. You have to get to totality, really, for the full effect. What we had in 2017, we were in totality there. We were lucky, but we're going to be just outside of it. So this is the path of totality, and we're in that 90% covered. Not gonna matter, really. 90, 95, 99% covered sun is not 100%, and it means literally night and day when it comes to a total solar eclipse. Now, for us here, if you're going to be here and you want to see the partial eclipse, max viewing will happen at 2:03 here in Nashville. This is will be what it looks like. We're about 95% covered. Really won't even get that dark. That's what I find just amazing. Just the idea that the sun can be covered 95% and you really wouldn't even notice. It may get a bit dim, but that's going to be about it. So the partial again begins around 12:44, ends at 3:20. Of course, you do need eye protection at all times during a partial to watch the eclipse here. Eclipse safety, of course, never okay to directly look at the sun. Use those eclipse glasses and make sure that they are in fact okay to use. Inspect them and make sure that they're put together and there aren't any holes in them or anything like that. Let's talk more about cloud cover as we head into Monday. This is one model data, or one model that we run in our long range set. Again, we're riding along the path of totality, and as of right now, clouds I think are going to be a problem for some, if not a lot of the path. There will be some spots of brightness where we'll have mainly clear sky, but as of right now, it's looking like we may end up with cloudy skies for portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, possibly clearing a little bit as we head more towards the boot heel of Missouri, Paducah, Carbondale, Indianapolis. This is around 2:04, 2:05 on Monday, and then we get towards Indiana, Ohio, and into Pennsylvania and New York. It starts to clear a little more as we head towards New York and up to Maine. So this again is going to change between now and next week, but just starting to look at some of these models here. What's also interesting, it depends on the type of clouds that we're looking at. This is a total cloud forecast. High clouds, you could probably still see a totality there. If we're talking about low cloud deck, it's not going to be good. So again, it'll depend on what kind of cloud cover we're looking at. Low stratus clouds, maybe some mid-level clouds, or some high cirrus clouds, which are a little easier to look through. So that's the way it is looking as of right now. We'll continue to update you every night with our cloud forecast here. Just for fun, our last total solar eclipse was back in 2017. It was a major event here in Middle Tennessee as path of totality went right through the state. The next one, not going to be here for it, August 16th, 2566. So if you didn't get to see the solar eclipse last time, you got to get to totality in order to see, really, again, the difference between night and day. It really does make a difference. 99% isn't going to do it. So really highly stress it if you have the ways and means to get to totality on Monday. Temperatures looking to be cool the next couple of days, warming up to the 70s as we head towards Sunday, and maybe a few showers and thunderstorms as we head into early next week. Here locally, if you want to see the partial, I'm looking at maybe a pop-up shower chance, so there's some hope. And I think everywhere, regionally, I think we're looking at the best spot at this time for the least amount of cloud cover. So fingers crossed.
And if we can't get there, we'll just watch you.
That's what we're right. And hopefully wherever I am, we're going to be looking at Carbondale, maybe Marion off of 57 in Illinois for totality. And hopefully we'll be looking at a mainly clear sky there.
You're like an eclipse chaser.
I am.
There you go. All right. Just ahead, Middle Tennessee dodging a bullet.
17 Newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
Well, crews in Kentucky cleaning up downed trees and power lines after powerful storms ripped through the region.
Fox weather correspondent Nicole Valdez shows us the damage up that way and what Kentucky's governor is promising this evening.
Here in Kentucky, thousands of people were without power Wednesday, one day after a strong line of storms pummeled communities from Georgia up through Ohio.
This literally took 15 seconds. 15 seconds is all it took.
Near Lexington, Kentucky, the system whipped up multiple tornadoes with wind gusts topping 100 miles per hour. The storm's strength catching some people off guard.
Neighbors like that seen it coming from that way, and it come through this way like it was throwing tree limbs and everything all the way down the street.
Local officials say these conditions flipped cars, knocked trees onto roads, and caused significant damage to homes and businesses and hurt several people. Crews have been out since Wednesday surveying the damage, and working to restore power.
We will rebuild every structure and every life. We will lift everyone back up and ensure that you get back on your feet. That's what Team Kentucky is all about.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declaring a state of emergency for several counties across the Bluegrass state to get resources started for that recovery process. In Prospect, Kentucky, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
The Clarksville mongrels, how federal prosecutors in Nashville closed the book on this brutal.
We've honored over 20 heroes so far. We need your help to find more. Nominate a person, family, or organization today. They could be our next hometown hero.
In Operation Crime and Justice, the last of 18 members of a brutal Clarksville motorcycle gang is sentenced to more than 10 years in federal prison. The gang is called the Clarksville Mongrels. Prosecutors connected them to murders in 2015 and 17. Members were also convicted of kidnapping, large-scale drug trafficking, and money laundering. The murder victims include a young mother who was shot to death and a man who was brutalized before a member of the gang drove a 10-inch tent stake into his head. One of the 18 received a 40-year sentence.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Because it could be my daughter that walked away and disappeared without a trace.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues in Sumner County. Multiple law enforcement agencies involved in a ground search today, as well as civilians joining in as well. It's all in an effort, of course, to bring this young boy home.
Now, the TBI was one of the agencies involved in that ground search today. And Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller is now live at TBI headquarters in East Nashville with the very latest on what happened.
Yes, well, these are the flyers that people who are independently searching for Sebastian Rogers are handing out to keep his image and name out in the public eye. Now, we spoke with a neighbor who lives in Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood. His name's Rob Schwint, and he has an autistic daughter himself. Schwint says it's been a very difficult 5 weeks for the community. And Schwint says it's been very invasive for the neighborhood. He explains there's both law enforcement, but also random vehicles coming through their street. Perry Buckner is an independent volunteer. She says her group has been handing out flyers and searching properties, but she says only if they're given permission to.
We'll go every day until we can bring him home to his family.
She adds since they're working separately from law enforcement, they stay out of their way. Now, TBI says that you can call or email them with any tips or information that you may have about Sebastian Rogers. They say that they're taking every tip seriously and will follow up if needed. Reporting live from East Nashville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
To see all of our previous reporting on the Sebastian Rogers case, just go to our website, fox17.com, and search Sebastian.
Some people feel that this is a good way to deter people from camping out on our streets. What's your response to that?
Tonight in the high cost of homelessness, local nonprofit Open Table joining national leaders in a fight to determine whether or not it is legal to arrest people for sleeping on public land. This comes almost 2 years after Tennessee made it illegal to camp on public property. The issue is being fought on the federal level. On April 22nd, our country's highest court will hear verbal arguments. Supporters feel that it could help the efforts to clean up homeless encampments citywide, while opponents argued that it's going too far.
We saw how this worked out in Hermitage, allowing people to live on public land with no consequences and no rules. It doesn't work. People find the loopholes. It destroys communities. It destroys families, not just housed, but also the unhoused.
And arresting someone, or finding someone or citing someone might get them off your street corner or out of your backyard for, a day or a few days, but then they're going to be right back outside in the same position they were in, but will actually be worse off.
Today, Fox 17 News reached out to the DA's office to see how many people may have been charged for illegally camping under the Tennessee law. In response, they said they have not had any cases like this so far.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a proposal by the Metro School Board to put more limits on public comments. your comments. Right now, if you want to speak at a school board meeting, you have to register online, and your comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Well, now the board is proposing limiting comments only to issues that are on the board's agenda, and it would cap those comments at 30 minutes total per meeting. So a maximum of 10 speakers per meeting in a school district with more than 86,000 students.
Yes, people can contact their school board member by email or phone, and that may work for some things. But there's stories that need to be told in a public forum and heard by the whole board.
Former Metro teacher Tom Surface there among those encouraging the board to reject more limits. He's a member of a group called NOAA, a local coalition that tries to amplify the voices of ordinary people. NOAA says that 3-minute rule that went into effect 2 years back reduced public input by 70% last year. Fox 17 wants to know what you think about this. Our viewer poll tonight asking, should MNPS limit public comments to only items on the school board agenda? 164 people weighing in. 72.6% say no, they shouldn't do that. And a little over 27% say yes, it's a good call. Our thanks tonight for all who took time to vote.
Turning now to Operation Crime and Justice, the man accused in the deadly mass shooting Easter Sunday in Nashville is now behind bars. Anton Rucker arrested late last night in Princeton, Kentucky, about a half hour north of Fort Campbell. He's accused of opening fire at a Nashville bistro, killing 33-year-old Alan Beecham and injuring 6 others. Metro Police say Rucker surrendered when officers arrived.
Continuing with Operation Crime and Justice, the man charged with killing a Belmont University freshman, Julian Ludwig, made his first court appearance today. Police say Shaquille Taylor, who appeared in court via video from jail, fired the shot that killed Ludwig as she walked in a park near the Belmont campus. Taylor was charged with a violent crime 6 months earlier, but was set free after being found incompetent to stand trial. He is charged with murdering and tampering with evidence in this case, and a new competency hearing is scheduled for May the 1st.
Had quite an interesting day of weather, quite chilly compared to where we've been. Along with it, rain, hail, and even some grapple. Yes, grapple, if you've ever heard the term. It is a type of sort of icy pellet that falls from the sky. I liken it to Dippin' Dots, actually. It's what it looks like. And we had that falling from the sky. It's when super cool droplets stick to snowflakes in the sky here. South Nashville camera's going a little crazy. That's par for the day. This has been a crazy afternoon and crazy evening, but we're looking that nice and quiet for the evening hours here. We will have the potential for a few showers through the overnight. Dare I say even a few flurries out toward the plateau. Temperatures sitting at 49 in Nashville. Temperatures in the low 40s for the plateau. Murfreesboro sitting at about 49 degrees for the morning hours. Things are looking fairly quiet. Radar not showing too much on the screen right now, but notice just to our north and to our west, we are seeing more of that energy move to the south and to the east. So we'll continue to find a few light showers as we go through the evening tonight. We'll walk you through future track as we head into the next couple of days and a look ahead at early next week's eclipse forecast. All coming up. Megan.
Thank you, Katie. Ready for the
theory. Cool, redefined.
Tomorrow at 6 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
People from Texas to Vermont right now preparing for next week's solar eclipse, and they are about to have, let's just say, a whole lot of company.
And as Fox Oliviana Calmes reports, a lot of people are traveling to see it in person.
They are. That's why hotels, motels, Airbnbs are all sold out. Some people even camping in strangers' backyards just to get a glimpse of the eclipse.
We're booked up.
Gregario works for a small inn outside of Cape Girardeau. He says people started booking rooms for the eclipse a year ago.
Then they said they wanted for April the 7th for the eclipse in 2024, and we was amazed.
He says he raised his prices, but the calls kept coming.
We receiving 10, 15 calls a day that I got to turn down.
Travel bookings in the path of totality have increased by an average of 900%, and some room costs are up almost 250%. But even if you're willing to shell out the cash, by now there aren't enough rooms. So what do?
There's a guy looking for a place to park his truck and pitch a tent. He said he'd give us $75 to pitch a tent. He wasn't going to pay the crazy hotel prices.
So yeah, camping is one alternative. But if you want to watch the eclipse without all the nature, there's an option to camp and still feel like you're in a hotel.
And what it comes with typically is a queen bed and end table, dressers, chairs, rugs.
Keegan says he has 10 bookings for the eclipse, and he himself plans to watch it from one too.
It's great, and not dealing with the logistics of a hotel too. You know, having everyone in separate rooms, that can be a little bit of a pain. So this lets everyone get in one spot and really have some fun.
The booking site Hopper says if you still plan on making a last-minute trip, make sure and check Eclipse event sites for special hotel deals and lock down those rental cars as soon as you can. In Cape Girardeau, Missouri, I'm Oliviana Calmes, Fox News.
Fox 17 News also helping you enjoy this eclipse. Again, this is going to be the last one. I don't think any of us will be around for the next one, given the math. So Monday, check out fox17.com for our 30-minute solar eclipse special. Starts at 1:45, runs to 2:15 that afternoon. Fox 17 Chief Code Red meteorologist Katie Morgan will be in the path of totality, breaking down some cool science facts. So please just make us part of your eclipse journey.
Well, new tonight, experts warn artificial intelligence is adding a new level to an already frightening scam. Virtual kidnapping can take many forms, but it essentially involves tricking victims into paying a ransom to free a loved one that they believe is in danger. Scammers can now use AI voice cloning to sound exactly like the person that they are pretending to kidnap. Bentley University professor Steve Weissman says they may also combine this technology with information gathered on social media to make this scam more believable.
So someone may be on vacation in Cancun, for instance. So you get a call from a kidnapper in Mexico saying that they have your relative, and then you hear your relative talk to you, telling you to pay the ransom.
Weissman advises people to be skeptical of unsolicited phone calls, texts, and emails. He also recommends that families have a safe word to use in the event of an emergency. That way, the person can use that word to prove to friends and family that they're not talking to a scammer.
Just ahead, start saving now. How much a gallon of gas could cost you come summer.
Yay! Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
If you're planning a road trip this summer, you better start saving up now for the gas money.
Here's why. As Fox Business reporter Jeff Flock shows us, experts are warning that prices could climb to $4 a gallon in some places.
Gasoline prices have risen 20 cents a gallon over the last month.
Growing concern as gas prices continue to rise across the country. According to the AAA, the average gallon of regular right now is about $3.54. That's up only a penny in the last week, but it's up 20 cents from a month ago. Now experts warning the price may keep going up as the temperatures do.
I expect to increase to a national average of $3.75 this summer.
The price hike coming as the Biden administration cancels its plans to replenish the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Biden began trimming the reserve in late 2021 to combat high fuel prices. Now the administration says oil prices are too high and is holding off on buying more oil. The White House had this to say when asked why.
I would refer you to the Department of Energy. I know there were certain components to that and how they were going to move forward in refilling.
Refilling the SPR may not happen anytime soon as oil prices sit at their highest levels so far this year, more than $85 a barrel. What is causing the high price? OPEC production supply limits, which the organization confirmed will not be changing anytime soon. Conflict in the Middle East, including the bombing of an Iranian consulate building in Damascus. New sanctions on Venezuelan oil that the U.S. is imposing in mid-April. And attacks on Russia's oil infrastructure.
All of this is combined to raise crude oil prices and subsequently gasoline prices.
The Biden administration says it wants to buy oil at $79 a barrel to fill the SPR. The price is now topping $85. Seems that ship, maybe oil tanker, has sailed. In Philadelphia, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice, the Justice Department announcing $78 million in new grants for community-based violence prevention programs. The funding is coming out of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which has allocated $250 million for such initiatives. During today's funding announcement, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland credited community programs for a recent drop in crime across America. This includes a 13% decline in homicides in major cities last year, which Garland describes as the largest one-year decline seen in 50 years.
These declines are not just abstract statistics. As you know so well, they represent people. People who are still here to see their children grow up, to work toward fulfilling their dreams, and to contribute to their communities.
Garland also announced the Justice Department will deploy more federal resources and prosecutors to cities that continue to have violent crime at levels well above the national average, like St. Louis, Missouri, and Hartford, Connecticut.
Let's talk more about this cool weather pattern that we have in place now, at least for a few days before we start to warm up again. For perspective, our average in the upper 60s for this time of year. We're well below that today, only reaching 54. And as we move into tomorrow, we'll have temperatures struggling to reach 50 degrees. We are looking at a few showers for this evening, a few flurries as well out toward the plateau. It's really nothing to get too excited over, just kind of fun to mention since it's April. We're talking about some light flurries. Chilly Thursday, as I mentioned, and we'll have a look too at your solar eclipse forecast. As we go into the next few mornings, frost may become possible, especially as we get into Friday and Saturday morning. Tomorrow morning, I'd say maybe a spot or two in low-lying areas. It's looking more like, though, Friday and Saturday morning will be the mornings that we need to watch for some of that frost. So we walk you through the overnight and into the morning hours here. Notice that these showers are going to be pretty isolated in nature. Higher elevations out towards the upper Cumberland region and the plateau will have the best shot at seeing a little bit of snow mixed in with a rain shower or two. We get into late morning. This is 10 a.m. I do think skies remain mostly cloudy for tomorrow, and we are going to be looking at a couple more showers along the way. This through Thursday evening and into early Friday morning. We will start off with a mix of clouds and sunshine around, but again, looking at temperatures to be a little on the cool side even for Friday, with those highs right around 60 degrees. But we are climbing as we head towards the weekend. Great reminder for you with the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. With all the weather that we've had recently, it's a great tool, even just with the interactive radar. Most importantly, like yesterday, it will alert you when we have watches that are issued, warnings that are issued in your area, and it's really a great tool to stay on top of what is going on around your area and around your home. Temperatures for tonight around 38 degrees, a mainly clear sky, chilly night with the potential for some patchy frost. As we head into tomorrow, a stray shower can't be ruled out. Our temperature struggling in the low 50s. As we look ahead here, 60 for Friday. We're at 62 for Saturday and 70 as we head towards Sunday. Monday, big day, the partial solar eclipse here in Nashville. I'm looking at a partly cloudy sky right now with a few showers possible in the afternoon. Now max totality, or max viewing I should say, for us here will be around 203. So hopefully we will see a mainly clear sky at that point, so we maybe can view that partial solar eclipse.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
5 inches of rain in eastern Ohio triggered several mudslides. This one blocked a road. Another brought mud and debris to a cemetery. A little to the west, the Muskingum River overflowed its banks. In Wisconsin, it was a heavy, wet snow that brought trees down across Green Bay, including this one that fell on a car. And here's something you don't see every day, a double rainbow and mammatus clouds at the same time.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
You can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It starts at 8 a.m. over on our sister.
Payments with 0% interest for 84 months. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
Tonight, members of Congress are very much worried about e-cigarette products that are made in China. They are increasingly popular with our teens.
But those e-cigs are not regulated by the FDA. Fox News' Griff Jenkins has more on the story.
Everywhere you turn, Americans are puffing away on electronic cigarettes, commonly known as vaping. CDC data shows 10% of high schoolers and 5% of middle schoolers were using e-cigs last year. But it's the Chinese ones, not approved by the FDA, that worry doctors most.
If it's not FDA approved, it's dangerous, it's a risk to your health, and I highly recommend to avoid it at all costs.
Researchers with an ongoing study discovered an alarming prevalence of illegal Chinese vapes, rummaging through the trash and streets of 84 neighborhoods around D.C., collecting discarded packages.
For every pack we found that is approved by the FDA list, we found about 1,000 of products that are not approved by the FDA.
The group's founder says the real problem lies in the import, distribution, and sale of such products.
Most probably smuggled into the USA and distributed in illicit ways.
The former ATF Deputy Assistant Director says this should raise red flags.
The fact that they're getting these products from China where they could be tainted with God knows what is concerning to me.
And there's bipartisan concern on Capitol Hill.
There's some real smoke to clear up as it relates to a shady Chinese e-cigarette company.
Senator Marco Rubio sent a letter to the FDA claiming its approach to regulating e-cigs has, quote, enabled this explosion of illicit Chinese vapes. The FDA tells Fox News it is committed to stemming the flow of illegal e-cigs into the U.S. It lists 23 approved vaping products, most of them U.S. companies. And while not all Chinese vapes are legal, a vast majority are. This one says made in China here on the side. It's not approved. Worth noting, too, China bans these e-cigs in their country to reduce young users, while freely flooding our U.S. market with them. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
We've been talking about the total solar eclipse now for months, but believe it or not, a new survey says many of us still don't know the best way to protect our eyes. I'm Liz Bonus. We'll share details just ahead.
A million Toyotas built right here in the USA.
And for over 20 years, Toyota's electrified vehicles have led the way to a better tomorrow.
The more you know, the more you'll drive Toyota.
Let's go places.
In your health news, 1 week from today, the total solar eclipse will sweep across the country from Texas to Maine, turning places from daylight to darkness all within minutes.
Just like that, Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus tonight takes a look at some of the health risks, associated with the eclipse and how sky watchers can stay safe.
Hey there, everybody. We've been talking about the solar eclipse now for months, but a new survey shows at least 1 out of every 3 of us still don't know the health risks of it.
The survey conducted by the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, which provided this video, found 30% of those asked didn't know looking at a solar eclipse without proper eye protection can cause permanent eye damage.
When it comes to total solar eclipse, even though the sun's going to be mostly blocked, there are still UV rays coming down, and so if you look directly into them, it can damage your retina.
Your retina is the light-sensitive layer of tissue at the back of the eyeball. Dr. Yao Jin of Miami University of Ohio says that can lead to what you see looking like this. It dims the central vision. Dr. Jin says it's one of the reasons eclipse glasses with this seal of approval from an approved vendor are needed to view the eclipse.
A lot of counterfeits are floating around, and if you happen to accidentally buy one of the counterfeits, you would not be able to tell that they're counterfeits. And when you put them on and look at the sun, they will offer little to no protection, and you might actually end up with the solar eclipse burned onto your retina.
That means you would see sort of permanent blind spots. After polling more than 1,000 Americans, the survey also found more than 10% believe an eclipse can cause natural disasters, sleep problems, and mental health issues. There's no evidence, however, linking any of these health concerns to the eclipse. The only weather change expected, according to NOAA, is a drop in temperature, while the sun is concealed by the moon.
Now, one other thing I've been asked several times is why can't I just wear my own sunglasses for proper eye protection? No matter how dark they may look, they do not meet the standards to protect your eyes in this eclipse. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
You guys still have glasses left over from last time?
Nope.
No, I've got a new pair ready to go.
Yeah?
I don't think we have any either.
Who's sponsoring your glasses this year?
Well, I don't know.